These problems come from a handout titled 3-digit by 3-digit multiplication. And so that's what we're going to be working on here. And when I do these problems, I like to use the traditional method. However, there are other methods to multiply. But since most people are taught using the traditional method, that's the way I'll go with. And so the way we do the traditional method is we line up place values. And so when I line up the place values, I'm going to draw some vertical lines. And so this is why sometimes when you're starting to learn how to multiply, some teachers will have you use graph paper because it has those vertical lines. And it's real important to make sure you have your lines, your numbers lined up when you're doing these problems. So again, there are other methods. There's a method called lattice that ends up using like a square, and then you end up multiplying numbers and putting numbers in little boxes. There's also a method called the partial product, which is similar to this method here. However, it's done a little bit differently. And so there's lots of different ways to multiply, but we'll go ahead and stick with this method for right now. And so here I'm multiplying just this ones place by the ones place of my first number. And so my first number, since I'm in the ones place, starts in the ones place. And you line up the numbers that you're multiplying, just as when I put my first number, that number is going to line up with the ones place. So 9 times 8 makes 72. But notice the number 72. The 2 is in the ones place, 7's in the tens. So that's why I put the 2 in the ones place, and I bring the 7 up into the tens place. See, this is the tens place. So again, notice the ones here, tens, hundreds, thousands place. You'll notice that I'm going to line up digits that are in the right place value every time. All right, let's do the next one. 9 times by 1 makes 9, plus 7 gives me 16. So I put a 6 right here. And since now I was in the tens place because that's what I'm multiplying by, the ones by this tens place, the number went right into the tens place. I have to carry that extra number into the hundreds place. So 9 times 8, now see I'm in the hundreds place. So that number is going to go right below in the hundreds place value spot. So 9 and 8 makes 72, plus 1 makes 73. So notice that I brought the 7 over here. So I have the 3 here, and then I carried the 7 into the thousands place and just got brought straight down. Well, now we can cross off all this carrying business because we are going to the next number. We are now in the tens place. So notice my first number, since I'm multiplying in the tens place, is going to go into the tens place. So that means I need a placeholder. I'm going to use 0 as my placeholder. So now I do 5 times 8 makes 40. Bring up my 4, and I do it again. 5 times 1 makes 5. Plus 4 makes 9. And we do it again. We have 5 times 8 makes 40. So I just bring down that 4 and that 0. And then from there you add those numbers up. And so when we add, just as when we were multiplying, making sure we're real careful about making sure the numbers were in the correct place value spot, I do the same thing with addition. You only add up the numbers in the same place value. So 2 and 0 make 2. 6 and 0 make 6. 3 and 9 add to make 12. Carry a 1. That makes 7 and 1 makes 8. And then you bring down your 4. So typically we we put a comma in between the different place values when we're into a different series of numbers. So in between the thousands and the hundreds, I'm going to put that comma so it's easier to read the number. 48,262. So the comma helps you figure out when to stop and say that place value. So 48,262. Let's take a look at this next problem. Again, if you line up your place values, if you use these vertical lines, it makes the problem a lot easier. If you don't use vertical lines and you're sloppy with your work, you're going to end up making errors when you're adding. So let's go ahead and try this. We have 7 and 8 make 56. And then 7 and 9 make 63 plus 5. Okay, now if you're having trouble with that math, do it off to the side so you don't make that error. When you see it, it's a whole lot easier to figure out what it is. It makes 68. So I bring the 6 up there. 8 comes down here. Now we do it again. So 7 times by this 7 right here, times by 8 makes 56. Okay, so if you can't do the math in your head, then write it out, just like I did there. So 56 plus 6 gives me 62. That's what I get when I add those numbers together. All right, well, we've moved from the ones place now to the tens. Now notice, I'm not going to put a number in the ones place because now I'm in the tens. So my first number goes in the tens place. So now we go ahead and multiply. But notice something, we have the same number. Watch, there will be a pattern that will make this problem go a lot faster. And next time you see it, you'll be able to do this problem in half the time. Let's go ahead and do it and see if you can see the pattern. 7 and 8 make 56. All right, so that's 6 right there. You need to cross these numbers off, put a 5. Ooh, that's the same number I had before. 7 and 9 make 63, plus 5. Oh, I just did that right here. 63 plus 5 makes 68. So I can put a 6 up here. Now 7 and 8 make 56, plus 6. Oh, that's the same thing I have right here. Must be a 62. So notice that when you multiply by the same number, but we move the number into a different place value, look at the numbers. They're exactly the same. 6286. 6286. They just got shifted over one space because we are multiplying but in a different place value. So when we add this stuff up, we get a 6, 14, carry a 1 makes 11, carry a 1, that makes 7 and 2 make 9, and the 6. So we put it between the thousands and hundreds place, the comma that is, and we get our answer, 69,146. All right, let's do another one. So again, line up those place values. So I'll draw that vertical line. And again, if you're having trouble with this, sometimes that graph paper makes it a lot easier. Or you can take your regular lined paper and orient it the other way. Then you'll have those vertical lines, because that's the important thing, is to have those vertical lines. The horizontal line, all I need is the line underneath the second number that I'm multiplying by. All right, let's do the work. We've got 9 times by 2 makes 18. Carry a 1. Multiply. 9 and 4 make 36. Plus 1 makes 37. 9 and 7 makes 63. And then we also have that 3 that we have to add on, so that makes 66. So now we get to move over to the tens place. Notice that I am going to now use a placeholder in place of the ones place. I put that placeholder in there because, again, my first number, since I'm in the tens place, needs to be in the tens place. Just like when I multiplied by the ones place there, my first number went into the ones place. So now I'm in the tens place. So 8 times 2 makes 16. Carry up a 1, so let's cross these guys off. Carry up that 1. 8 and 4 make 32, and 1 make 33. And 8 and 7 make 56. 56 plus 3 makes 59. So now we're ready to add up those numbers. So we'll go ahead and do that addition. Let's see what we come up with. 8 and 0 make 8. 7 and 6 make 13. Carry a 1. 1 and 6 makes 7, plus 3 makes 10. Carry up a 1. 1 and 6 make 7, plus 9 makes 16. Carry a 1. 1 and 5 make 6. So put that comma between the thousands and the 100s place, and we've got our answer, 66,038. There it is.